my name is Mohammed Kamal. On today's edition, I would like to walk you through how to install Kali Linux in your MacBook Pro using a virtual box environment. And Kali Linux, it is one of the advanced penetration test environment or platform that contain a number of tools, more than 600 plus tools. So I will advise to use the Kali Linux in a very safe pen test or penetration test. Please use it knowingly, because when you are doing this penetration test you need to have an authorization from where you are going to do. But if you are doing in your environments, like testing your Wi-Fi, testing your email access and everything, that's fine. But other than that, please don't do anything, any hack or any kind of bad things to your community or to your environments. Alright, let's get started. We downloaded the Kali Linux 64 bits, so it's gonna be very safe for you. And Kali Linux, it is one of the advanced penetration test environment or platform that contain a number of tools, more than 600 plus tools. So I will advise to use the Kali Linux in a very safe pen test or penetration test. Please use it knowingly, because when you are doing this penetration test you need to have an authorization from where you are going to do. But if you are doing in your environments, like testing your Wi-Fi, testing your email access and everything, that's fine. But other than that, please don't do anything, any hack or any kind of bad things to your community or to your environments. Alright, let's get started. We downloaded the Kali Linux 64 bits. So we need two things. One, we need to download the anything, any hack or any kind of bad things to your community or to your environments. Alright, let's get started. We downloaded the Kali Linux 64 bits. So we need two things. One, we need to download the Kali Linux from the official website, which is kali.org. Once we download that one, and then I'm gonna take you downloading the virtual environment. So the other virtual environment, so one is we need to download this one, and then we need to go ahead and download also the virtual box. And click the blue icon, which is new. Let's go ahead and give it a name here, Kali Linux, and populate the type and the version for us. So that's the version that I have, the 64-bit. If it's not populating for you, you can write it, and if you continue, I'll leave the minimum requirement, which is for Kali is the minimum is 1 gig of RAM. But if you give it more RAM, your machine is gonna be more fast, so it will be faster. So I'm just gonna give it 2 gigabyte right there, the minimum. So I'm gonna give it a little bit more than that, which is 2 gigabyte. So it's gonna be alright. That's fine. Let's continue. So over here we have the virtual hard disk. I'm gonna go ahead and create a virtual hard disk, which is the auto selected one. I'll click create. So will have 3 options over here. So what we're going to do here is the VMDK, which is the virtual machine, actually the VDI, which is the virtual box disk image, is the one we're going to do. So I'm gonna say continue there, and then I'll choose the dynamically allocated. Don't worry about that. And over here, Kali requires 20 gigabytes to do your work from the hard disk. So we're going to increase from 8 here the auto to, I'll keep that one to 20, which is the minimum required by Kali. Then from there, I'm gonna go ahead and create. Alright, once we created our virtual machine, so as you can see right here, a virtual machine level category is come out. So before we start, we need to adjust a few settings. So we're gonna come here under the setting, and then from the setting here, I'm gonna go ahead and under storage, you take care on the controller IDE right here. You will see the CD empty. I'm gonna go ahead and click on that one. So on the right side you have another CD here on the optical drive. It says choose the virtual. Go ahead and click, and then a virtual optical disk file. Alright. So now the Kali Linux that we have that I have chose, so I'll find it from the one that you downloaded from the official Kali. So where I have it is under download. I'll go to downloads, and you see right here the Kali Linux. Yep, that's the one I have. The disk over here, ISO. So I'm gonna go ahead and it is around 3 gigabyte. I'm gonna go ahead and mount it to my IDE controller. Right. Okay, now I'll say okay, it's mounting. I'm gonna go back to settings again, some additional setting here. So I'm gonna go ahead and see the system, verify we have the minimum, which is the 2 gigabyte. So we don't wanna the optical disc. I'm gonna make the optical disc up. So right here the optical disc, I'm gonna select and make it up, and I'll make the floppy down, and actually I'll disable the floppy. We don't need the floppy disk. I'm gonna go ahead at the processor, depending on how many CPU or storage you have, you can increase the number of CPU here. It will increase your the virtual environment. So in my case, I'll go ahead and give it 2 CPU, which is 2 core. Alright, go ahead and say OK. Now we can go ahead and start it. So you can double click on the Linux, or we can click the start button. Awesome. So I just double click on it. It's automatically you have an auto. It is the pre-boot screen for Kali. I'm gonna go ahead and down to the graphical installer, which is my favorite. Alright, go there, the graphical installer. I mean, you can choose anyone. Let's say the live one over here. Why you wanna do the live one? Like if you don't wanna download anything, you can do the live over here, the live MP. If you wanna do just take care some of the things online and not be able to create a user profile, so you can just do that one. Yep, you're not gonna save anything, or it's a good way to jump in and get started with Kali Linux. But in this video, I'm gonna show you how to do with graphical interface. So go there, I'm gonna click enter, and just gonna go ahead and install the machine here. Virtual machine report that the guest operating system, mouse, pointer, see, all being things are gonna be taken care of. Alright, now English is checked. If not, you can choose it with language, and it's in the United States. You can continue. I want to use American English. Okay, I'll continue. Kali is loading here. Awesome. My Kali Linux, it's loading. That's how you guys gonna install in your setup. So if you have any question or any concern while you're doing this Kali Linux on a virtual box, Oracle virtual box, just let me know. I can walk you through with detecting the link to it, or waiting for the link local address. It takes a little bit of time, but we give it good processing speed, so hopefully things will be good. Alright, so here is the thing, which is the host name. You can call it whatever you want. So I'm just gonna stick with the default, which is Kali. I'll give it the host name, and when I continue here, it'll ask me the domain name. So when it comes to the domain name, you can choose anything you like. So for the domain name for this environment, and we can give it a name. So let's give it a domain name here. I'll give it Kali.ul, Kali.mo, or just my favorite nickname. Alright, let's continue. I'm gonna continue. So the root password, that you need not be able to set the password once you type it. So you need to put on a password that you're going to remember. So give it a password here. Okay, you can show the password, but I'm not gonna show you guys. I'm gonna return it here. Yep. Then once you do that, repeat the password. Okay, and continue. It's correct. Yep. And then my time zone is on Eastern. That's great. Most of the things, pick up by default. So your time zone. Alright, the next here is the guided. So I'm gonna use the entire disk. There is other options you can choose, or you can do it manually, but I'll choose the entire disk. Yep, and then just need to continue. All files in one partition or a separate, but we don't wanna create a partition here in this video. I'm just gonna use the simple install, which is the recommended for a new user. I'm just gonna continue. Alright, continue again. Then here, finishing the partition and rewrite change to the disk. Let's say continue. Awesome. Write the change. So what it's going to ask us, if you want to make any change here, there is a write change to the disk. Let's go ahead and say yes, we want to make some change. So I'd like to say yes. And if you continue, then it will make a change for us. Awesome. Alright, let's give it another few minutes and hopefully things will go successful. You guys open this video late, so I'm just walking you through how to install Kali Linux in a virtual box. So what we are using right now is a MacBook Pro. That's what I have. So I'm showing you how to install Kali Linux, which has a number of pen testing tools, that is preloaded pen testing tools. It has a lot of cool stuffs. Please use generously, not doing any harm. Awesome. So what you do right now is using the processing of the operating system into the virtual machine. So you have that. So based on my computer speed, it will take time, and then let's say the port that we allocated earlier, based on all those important cool features, the speed of installation will depend on based on that. So what it does right now is we have the Kali Linux, which is locally we downloaded, and then I also have the virtual environment, which is the virtual environment or the virtual box. And then what it does is it's just gonna bring in that file into the virtual box, the Oracle virtual box, and it's processing, it's mounting, or whatever things that I have. So for me, it might not gonna take more than a minute or two because of we allocated a good processing speed on that one. So, right. So in general, let's talk a little bit about the Kali Linux penetration. So Kali Linux, it is one of the advanced penetration testing tool. I mean, I would say not just it's a tool, it's a combination of tools, which has more than like 600 plus super amazing advanced penetration testing tools incorporated on it. More than 600 plus. It's not just like 5 or 10 or 20. 600 plus. So if you have Kali Linux in your uh, computer or in your virtual environment, you can do whatever you want. So because it has more than 600 plus super tools, and it's ultimately free. That's an important thing. It's an open software, and which is free. You're not gonna pay anything for it. Open source. It's a bit free, and also other feature. It is FHS support. It's supported by FHS. So those are important features I would like to mention here for you guys while we are loading the Kali Linux into installing the Kali Linux into the virtual environment or the virtual box. Alright, so some people might ask you that is it illegal using Kali Linux? Now some tools on it can be used for illegal purpose. As I said, it has more than 600 plus tools on it. But some tools you can use it for illegally, some people use it illegally, but literally it's up to you. I mean, you should not only try to hack a Wi-Fi you own, you can hack that, but you can explicitly permission, unless you get explicit permission, you're not gonna hack other people or other organizations. So use it cautiously, probably to protect or to learn some of the hacking tools and learn, protect yourself, protect your organization. What I did, for example, I have a Wi-Fi. So what I did, I pen test my Wi-Fi setups. How the attackers, if they wanna try to crack my Wi-Fi, do they gonna do it? So I check, I do the same thing like that. So you can do that, you can practice that. It's always safe because it's you. No one is gonna blame you for that one. So you can do that. But another additional features, there are some other vulnerable websites that are out there. You can practice there. You can practice up there and improve your penetration test skill. And these days, especially penetration testers, they got a lot of money, and a lot of penetration demand is very high. So that's where you can build your experience, your network, and improve your skills. So that's another important thing to mention here. All right. So my animation is a little bit taking more than 1 minute, so let's give it another minute or two. So hopefully things will go good. And now some people, another question that is coming from is where do I do an experience? So especially in pen testing. So I would advise you to go to the docs.kali.org, docs.kali.org, where you can get a lot of informations. One information you can get, for example, about the difference between the Kali Linux and like a single user or a network service disabled by default, customer Linux kernel. You'll have so many good stuffs up there. Yep, it is almost finishing. Just be patient. Things might be. Like I said, we are doing installing Kali Linux into my MacBook Pro using the virtual box. So the step that we follow is we first downloaded the Kali Linux from their official website. We downloaded the latest version, we stored it in the download, and I also downloaded the VirtualBox VM, which is the Oracle VirtualBox. Both of them are free. I downloaded both of them, and I started working on the VirtualBox first. Okay, once I downloaded, I installed the VirtualBox, and I started over here by clicking new. I put the Kali Linux information. Once you do that, it will automatically populate for you the version and the name. Then from there you will continue. So right now we are installing the system, which is the Kali Linux, into the VirtualBox. Depending on the amount of processing speed or the memory you are provided to the VirtualBox, it will take time to install. Alright, and like I said earlier, this Kali Linux has more than 600 plus cool tools, a lot of tools, where you need to use those tools appropriately just to pen test or penetration test, to do a penetration test, and can be in your environment or when you are allowed to do in a given organization, you are allowed to do. So what is penetration test? So penetration test is you do penetration test the same like the hackers do. What is the difference between the penetration test and then the hacker? The hacker is the difference is that in penetration test always there is a learning, and at the end of the penetration test there is an extensive report and where you can take care the defects or the open things that you identified. But the hacker side, they just trying to hack your site or hack your organization and steal whatever data they have. And the difference again here is on the hacker side, they clean up whatever they did, whatever actions they took, they're going to clean up. All right, awesome. So over here, this is a network mirror. So it's going to ask us to do a network mirror, and then I'm gonna go ahead and continue. I will use the network mirror. It's just gonna ask you what is there to do. A network mirror can be used to supplement a software that is included on the CD-ROM. This may also make a newer version of software available. So what it does that is for you, newer version is going to be available for you whenever it is available. Okay, if you are using a network mirror. But in my case, I'm just gonna keep this one yes, because whenever a new comes, it's gonna come for me. Then I'm not gonna use the proxy here. But they're asking me the proxy information should be given in the standard format like this. So I'm not gonna use a proxy here. I'm just gonna continue. Alright, so it's configuring the app. Okay, leaving the file. Configuring the package manager is the next step. It's going to configure the package manager. Alright. Let's go ahead and clear these things so you guys can see it very well. That's the configuration package manager. Going to configure the package manager. You're not seeing it, but it's processing in the background. Perfect. Installing the Grub bootloader. Alright. Almost there. Alright, so what this is gonna ask us is if you want to install the Grub bootloader, I'll just say yes and continue. For that, then here it will ask us either to enter a device. What you need to do here is we need to use the dev SDA. You can choose that one. You just need to say the continue, and you can install the Grub bootloader here. Awesome. Kali. I like Kali. The reason being is that one you can get this free, you're not gonna pay anything for it, and it has a very good community support. So whatever question you have, you're just gonna post on the community, and someone out there maybe already did it before or have some experience on it, so they will answer it for you. So don't hesitate to ask any question. Alright, so this is gonna be the last phase. Hopefully this, yeah, it's right there, finishing the installation. So once this is done, it's gonna be the final installation. Yep. Okay, gonna let it finish the installation and we'll see. Like I said, Kali has more than 600 plus tools, penetration tools. Please use them effectively, use them in a safe environment. Either you can pen test yourself or your whatever app you build, or you can practice by practicing Kali on some of the environment, the vulnerable website which has already been made like that. One is the web goats, and there is also Hookapoo. You can use that one too, but don't just try those. Is Kali Linux in a real organization where you don't have permission to do that, so be mindful on that one, the consequence. Alright, it's finishing up the installation. Alright, Okay, final stage. Right, for some of you, virtual box, just creating for you a virtual box. So I mean, you have awesome. Awesome. So installation is complete. So it is time to boot into your new system. So it's going to boot for us. I'm just gonna click continue. It's gonna go ahead and boot the machine again for us. Let's give it another minute or so. Final installation. Alright, for those of you who just came late, we are installing Kali Linux in our virtual environment, which is the VirtualBox, the Oracle VirtualBox VM. We are installing Kali Linux. Kali Linux is one of the important application or pen test tool that have more than 600 plus tools. So we are installing that one. What does that mean is we have the Kali Linux, we have downloaded in our computer. Okay, once we download it, we install the VirtualBox right here. We click new, then we have populated the name, and then the rest of the things will be populated for us. Then you start the machine here, which is the virtual box. Once you do some kind of the settings, okay, over here on the gear icon, you set it like assigning how many RAM space, all those cool stuff you provided, and then it will install your Kali Linux on the virtual environment. So you can use that virtual environment to access to do a number of penetration testing. Awesome. Let's give it another minute. Okay, so the virtual box Kali is already run in our virtual environment. Let's go ahead and close this one. Here we go. We're just gonna give it another second for Kali to run. It's going to do some downloading the application, virtual machine report, or support mouse pointer integration. Awesome. Okay, so what we do once it's done, it's gonna give us the username here. It's gonna be root. Okay, we'll give it a root. That's the username. You click next, and the password is whatever password we earlier we provided. So I'm just gonna write the password that I gave it. So when you set up your machine, that is the password you're going to write it here. Awesome. We have the username and the password, and then we will have the Kali Linux running in our virtual machine. Perfect. So before we start any pen test, we need to make sure, we need to do a couple of things here before we start. The first thing is I'm going to go to the terminal here, the Kali Linux terminal. Once I click the terminal here, I'm going to go ahead and check whether it is updated or not. So the first thing is app. Okay, what I will do, I'm going to check if it is whether it is updated or not. So apt dash get update. Okay, what does this do? It's going to do the updates for us. Okay, command line option G is not understood. Okay, awesome. So what I have to write is apt dash get dash updates. Let's see. You know what? The reason is because I put a space over here. So That's the reason. Alright, it is done. Reading the package list, everything is done 100%. So apt dash get update. So getting the update for you, the update is done. That's the first thing you need to do on the terminal, the Kali Linux terminal. And then the next thing is now you need to exit from this environment. Awesome. So to exit, you just need to exit. So Kali Linux is up and running in our virtual environment. So it is already installed. Okay. Right. So it's completely separate. So what is a virtual machine? Okay. So the virtual machine, it is virtually running. Okay. Virtually running environment. It is completely separate from our computer, from our desktop computer. So whatever you see right is my desktop, but I have created this virtual environment. The Kali Linux is running on the host, which is running on my host operating system. Perfect. So we can do our pen test. Not gonna affect why why I'm advising people to practice pen test or penetration testing in a virtual environment is that you will be completely safe. Okay, so you're not gonna hurt your computer. Let's say if there is a virus, it's not gonna affect your computer because you are working on a virtual environment. If something happens, it's gonna be taken on the virtual environment. Okay, all right, so that's all I have. If you have any question, feel free to reach me. I am Mohammed Kamal. You can reach me at ServiceNow Star website, or you can email me. You can give me any comments. Again, today what we have done is we have installed Kali Linux in a virtual environment. Until we see each other with the next video. Until then, I wish you a great day. Have a great day. Bye.